Hello and welcome to Web3 Projects Reviewer, where we discuss the democratization of AI with DeepSeek and its impact on crypto. Don't forget to subscribe. A Chinese startup called DeepSeek just launched a powerful AI model. It rivals giants like ChatGPT, and they did it for a fraction of the cost. I mean, we're talking $6 million compared to the billions spent by competitors. Talk about shaking things up.
It's certainly turning heads. What's particularly interesting is how DeepSeek achieved this level of sophistication using less powerful hardware than one might expect. This efficiency is a game changer, and it's sending ripples through the tech world and beyond, impacting everything from AI and crypto to even energy markets.
It really does feel like a pivotal moment. What does this mean for the future of AI? And how will it affect your investments? Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep. So let's start with the basics. We've got DeepSeek on one side and ChatGPT on the other. How do they stack up?
It's a fascinating comparison. DeepSeek being open source allows anyone to access and modify its code. It really shines when it comes to technical tasks. For instance, it boasts a 90% accuracy rate in math, which is impressive considering its cost-effectiveness.
90%, that's incredible.
Right.
On the other hand, we have ChatGPT, which is known for its versatility and user-friendly design. A lot of people gravitate towards it because of its consistent performance and strong contextual understanding. Plus, it adheres to those Western data protection standards, which is a big deal for some users.
Absolutely. It's important to highlight those differences. This DataCamp article we have here actually provides a fantastic side-by-side comparison of these two models. It breaks down each feature and declares a winner in each category, a really valuable resource for anyone looking to choose the right tool for their specific needs.
Speaking of specific needs, let's talk about what happened to crypto when DeepSeek dropped this bombshell. News of its launch caused a sell-off in tech stocks A&D crypto. Bitcoin took a significant hit, dropping 6% to an 11-day low, even falling below that $100,000 mark.
It's interesting to analyze why this happened. While cryptocurrencies are often seen as risk-on assets, meaning they tend to follow the stock market's lead during times of uncertainty, this situation feels a bit more nuanced.
Okay, so we see that knee-jerk reaction, that initial dip, but what about the long-term implications, especially for AI tokens? Some experts are saying that DeepSeek's low-cost model could actually be a boon for AI development overall.
It's a thought-provoking argument. The idea is that this increased competition could actually fuel innovation. It could push everyone in the industry to up their game, leading to better products, lower costs, and increased accessibility.
Exactly. It's not just hypothetical either. We actually saw certain AI tokens like Internet Computer Protocol, Bitensur, and Akash Network bounce back pretty quickly after that initial dip.
It seems that some investors are looking beyond the immediate shock and recognizing the potential for DeepSeek to revolutionize the AI space, ultimately benefiting the entire ecosystem. What do you think our listeners make of this? Head to the comments and share your thoughts on DeepSeek's long-term impact on AI tokens.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about another major player in this whole tech landscape, President Trump. He recently announced a massive $500 billion plan to invest in AI. Clearly, the government recognizes the strategic importance of this field, wouldn't you say?
Without a doubt, it's a clear signal that the U.S. is aiming to maintain its leadership position in the AI race. However, Trump's track record with crypto has been a bit more complicated. Some would even say his previous policies have been viewed as underwhelming by the crypto community.
They're definitely hungry for more concrete support for the industry. Clear regulations and policies could really help foster innovation and growth in the crypto space.
That's the key. Right now, there's a sense of uncertainty, which can make investors hesitant. While there was that executive order for a crypto-focused working group, it hasn't exactly provided the clarity and stability that many in the market are looking for.
Okay, so we've got the U.S. vying for AI dominance, and then we have China entering the arena with a contender like DeepSeek. It's almost like we're seeing a new kind of Cold War emerging, but this time it's in the tech world.
DeepSeek's emergence definitely challenges the assumption of U.S. dominance in AI. It's a potent reminder that innovation can come from anywhere, and the competition is heating up on a global scale.
Could this shift the balance of power? It's certainly a question worth pondering. And speaking of power shifts, let's talk about the democratization of AI. Is this just hype, or is it the real deal?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? DeepSeek being open source is undeniably a huge step. It means that developers worldwide have the ability to study its code, learn from it, and even build upon its technology. This has the potential to dramatically accelerate AI development, making it more accessible and affordable to a wider range of people and organizations.
That sounds promising. However, this rapid advancement of AI also raises some important questions, particularly regarding its impact on Web3 and AI DAOs.
You're right. AI DAOs, which are essentially community-governed organizations that utilize AI to achieve their goals, are poised to play a major role in this evolving landscape. The potential is enormous, but there are also potential downsides to consider.
We want to hear from you. Head to the comments and let us know your thoughts on the short-term and long-term effects DeepSeek could have on Web3 and AI DAOs. Don't forget to subscribe to stay in the loop.
We'll be diving deeper into this fascinating intersection of AI, Web3, and DAOs in the next part of our deep dive. It's fascinating to witness how DeepSeek is acting as a sort of catalyst accelerating the evolution of AI. It's shining a light on several key trends that were already bubbling beneath the surface.
Could you elaborate on that? What trends are you seeing?
Well, for one, it's highlighting the increasing accessibility of powerful AI technology. It's no longer solely the domain of those well-funded tech giants. We're seeing smaller players, even startups, developing cutting-edge models that can compete on a global scale.
It's like the barriers to entry are being lowered, making the field more competitive.
Exactly. And that brings us to another significant trend, the growing emphasis on cost-effectiveness in AI development. DeepSeek's ability to achieve such impressive results with a relatively small budget is a real wake-up call for the industry. It demonstrates that you don't necessarily need billions of dollars to make a significant impact in the AI world.
That's an inspiring message for aspiring innovators and entrepreneurs in the AI space.
Absolutely. This shift towards efficiency could unleash a wave of innovation as smaller players enter the market with fresh perspectives and novel solutions.
More competition often leads to better products and lower prices for consumers. It's a win-win situation.
Precisely. And this ties into the third and perhaps most crucial trend, the rising influence of open source technology and AI. DeepSeek's decision to make its model open source is a game changer.
Why is open source so significant in this context?
Think of it this way. It's like opening the doors to a vast library of knowledge and expertise. By sharing its code, DeepSeek is enabling the global developer community to study, learn from, and build upon its technology. This collaborative approach could lead to an explosion of new ideas and applications, accelerating the pace of AI development exponentially.
So how does all of this relate to Web3 and those AI DAOs we were discussing earlier? How will these trends shape their evolution?
That's a great question, and it's one that's at the forefront of many discussions in the tech world right now. The intersection of AI and Web3 holds immense potential, and AI DAOs, with their community-driven governance and AI-powered capabilities, are uniquely positioned to capitalize on these advancements.
For those who may need a quick refresher, can you remind us what AI DAOs are and why they're generating so much buzz?
Certainly. Imagine a decentralized organization governed by its community members that leverages AI to achieve its goals. That's the essence of an AI DAO. It's like combining the collective intelligence and decision-making power of a community with the speed, efficiency, and analytical capabilities of AI.
It sounds incredibly powerful.
It is. AI DAOs have the potential to revolutionize how we make decisions, allocate resources, and even govern ourselves. Imagine a world where important decisions are made not by centralized authorities, but by a decentralized network of AI-powered agents all working in concert towards a shared objective.
That's a compelling vision. It's almost like taking democracy and collective decision-making to a whole new level.
Exactly. And while it may sound futuristic, there are already numerous AI DAOs operating across various sectors, from finance and healthcare to education and beyond. They're experimenting with different governance models, exploring novel use cases, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible with this technology.
So how will DeepSeek's arrival and these broader AI trends we've been discussing impact these existing AI DAOs and shape the future of the space?
For starters, DeepSeek's open source model will significantly lower the barriers to entry for AI DAOs, particularly those that are smaller or newer. They can leverage DeepSeek's code and capabilities without having to build everything from scratch, saving time, resources, and effort.
That's a game changer for those looking to jump into the AI DAO space.
Indeed. This increased accessibility could spark a surge in the creation of new AI DAOs as more individuals and communities recognize the potential of this technology to address their specific needs and goals.
It's exciting to think about the diversity of applications and the potential for positive change that these AI DAOs could bring.
It is, however, it's crucial to acknowledge that there are also potential downsides and challenges that need to be addressed.
I imagine things like bias in AI algorithms and the potential for misinformation are at the top of that list.
You're right. These are valid concerns.
Mm.
If an AI DAO is built on a biased or flawed AI model, its decisions and actions will reflect those imperfections, potentially leading to unintended consequences.
That's a sobering thought. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications of this technology and ensure that it's developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely. It's a responsibility that falls on all of us developers, researchers, investors, policymakers, and the wider community. We need to work together to establish guidelines, best practices, and safeguards to mitigate these risks and ensure that AI DAOs are used for good.
It's a reminder that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for both positive and negative purposes. It's up to us to guide its development and application in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
I couldn't agree more. We need to foster open and honest dialogue about the ethical implications of AI, particularly as it becomes increasingly intertwined with our lives and decision-making processes.
Transparency, accountability, and a commitment to ethical principles should be at the forefront of any discussion about AI development and its applications.
Well said. We need to ensure that AI DAOs are not only powerful, but also responsible, equitable, and aligned with human values.
Speaking of responsibility, let's bring this back to our listeners. What does all of this mean for them? Why should they care about AI DAOs and the democratization of AI? How could this potentially impact their lives?
It's a question worth exploring. Imagine a world where you have a direct say in the decisions that affect your community, your industry, or even the global issues you care about most. That's the potential of AI DAOs. They offer a way to participate in a more transparent, inclusive, and decentralized form of governance, where your voice can be heard and your vote can make a real difference.
It's empowering to think that individuals could have such a direct impact on the decisions that shape their lives.
Right, and that's just one aspect of it. AI DAOs can also create new opportunities for innovation and economic growth. They can tap into the collective intelligence and resources of a global community, attracting talent, capital, and ideas from all corners of the world.
It's like a global think tank fueled by the power of AI and driven by the shared goals of its members.
Exactly. And that could lead to groundbreaking solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems, whether it's finding new ways to combat climate change, developing life-saving medical treatments, or creating more sustainable and equitable economic systems.
So the potential benefits are vast, both for individuals and for society as a whole.
Absolutely. But it's important to temper our enthusiasm with a dose of realism. AI DAOs are still a very young technology. There are challenges to overcome, risks to mitigate, and ethical considerations to address. We need to be mindful of these challenges and work proactively to create a future where AI DAOs are used for good.
Now, shifting gears a bit, we've talked a lot about the U.S. and its ambitions in the AI space, but there's another major player we can't ignore: China.
You're absolutely right. China's growing influence in the AI landscape is undeniable. DeepSeek is a prime example of that. Its emergence has rattled many in the West, with some even drawing parallels to a new Cold War in the tech world.
It certainly raised the stakes and intensified the competition.
No doubt about it. AI is no longer just a technological innovation. It's a strategic asset, a geopolitical battleground, and a key factor in determining global leadership in the 21st century.
So how should the U.S. respond to China's growing AI ambitions? What strategies can it employ to maintain its leadership position?
That's a complex question with no easy answers. There are various schools of thought on this. Some advocate for doubling down on AI investments, both in research and development and in education. They believe that the U.S. needs to nurture its own talent pool and stay ahead of the curve in terms of innovation.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Others argue that the U.S. should focus on building stronger partnerships with like-minded countries, creating a united front to counter China's influence.
That's another valid approach. Collaboration and knowledge sharing among allies could certainly accelerate progress and create a more balanced global AI landscape.
And then there are those who believe that the U.S. should be more open to collaboration with China, even as it competes with it. They argue that engagement and dialogue could lead to greater understanding, shared progress, and a more stable global environment.
It's a delicate balancing act. The U.S. needs to find a way to both compete with China and cooperate with it, recognizing both the opportunities and the risks that this complex relationship presents.
It's a challenge that requires careful consideration and strategic thinking. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance, making smart investments, fostering innovation, and building a future where AI benefits all of humanity, regardless of national boundaries.
Now, speaking of the U.S. response, let's zoom in on President Trump and his role in shaping the nation's AI strategy. He's been quite vocal about his desire for the U.S. to be the global leader in AI.
Indeed. He's announced a $500 billion plan to invest in AI research and development, making it a central pillar of his national security strategy. He clearly recognizes the importance of AI in maintaining U.S. global dominance.
However, some critics argue that his policies are actually hindering U.S. AI development.
That's right. They point to certain policies, particularly those related to immigration and trade, as being detrimental to the U.S. AI ecosystem. They argue that these policies are making it more difficult for talented AI researchers and engineers to come to the U.S. and contribute their expertise.
They also raise concerns about the impact of trade tensions on global supply chains, making it harder for U.S. companies to access the components they need to build and deploy AI systems.
It's a complex issue with valid points on both sides. It's crucial for policymakers to carefully consider the intended and unintended consequences of their decisions and to find ways to foster an environment that supports innovation and attracts top talent.
Now let's pivot to another hot-button issue, crypto regulation. President Trump has been relatively quiet on this front, at least compared to some other world leaders. He's issued a few executive orders related to crypto, but he hasn't really articulated a comprehensive regulatory framework.
His approach has been somewhat ambiguous, which has led to uncertainty in the crypto community. Some view this lack of regulation as a positive thing, arguing that it allows for greater innovation and experimentation.
They believe that the government should take a hands-off approach and let the market drive development.
Right. However, others argue that more regulatory clarity is needed to attract institutional investors and to protect consumers from potential risks. They believe that clear rules of the game would create a more stable and trustworthy environment for crypto to flourish.
It's a debate that's likely to continue as the crypto industry grows and matures. Regulators will need to find a way to balance the need for innovation with the need for consumer protection and market stability.
It's a delicate dance.
Now let's look at the other side of the equation, China's response to the rise of crypto. They've taken a much more active and some might say contradictory approach.
That's a fair assessment. On the one hand, China has banned cryptocurrency exchanges and initial coin offerings, ICOs. They've cracked down on what they perceive as threats to their financial system and their control over capital flows.
But on the other hand, they're investing heavily in blockchain technology, the underlying technology of cryptocurrencies. They see the potential of blockchain to revolutionize various industries and enhance their own technological prowess.
It seems paradoxical, but it makes sense from a strategic standpoint. China wants to control the development and use of crypto within its borders, while simultaneously positioning itself as a global leader in blockchain technology.
It's a calculated move that reflects their long-term vision for technological dominance.
Indeed, China's actions in the crypto space are sending ripples throughout the global industry, and their impact will continue to be felt for years to come.
It's a fascinating and complex landscape, with each player making strategic moves that will shape the future of AI, crypto, and the global tech landscape.
Absolutely. It's a time of great uncertainty, but also a time of immense opportunity. Those who can adapt, innovate, and navigate this complex terrain will be the ones who thrive in this new era of technological disruption.
It's a dynamic and constantly evolving landscape. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned, because we'll continue to explore these fascinating trends and provide insights to help you make sense of this exciting new world.
It's a wild ride for sure. Hold on tight, because the pace of change is only going to accelerate from here.
So true. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We started by exploring DeepSeek's impact on the AI landscape, and then we discussed the potential implications for AI tokens and Web3. Of course, we couldn't ignore the political dimensions, so we delved into the evolving relationship between President Trump and the crypto world, as well as China's growing influence in the tech sphere.
It's a lot to take in, but it's all interconnected. Each piece of this puzzle contributes to the bigger picture of technological disruption and the shifting balance of power in the 21st century.
And it's happening so fast, it can feel overwhelming even for those of us who follow these developments closely. What do you think are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they be paying attention to as they navigate this complex landscape?
I think the most important thing is to stay informed and stay curious. The world of technology is evolving rapidly, and the only way to keep up is to continuously learn and adapt. Resources like DataCamp and insightful podcasts like this one can be invaluable guides.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to making informed decisions, whether it's about investments, career choices, or simply understanding the forces that are shaping the world around us.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with a final thought, something to ponder as they go about their day.
Okay, here's one for you. What if DeepSeek's emergence isn't just about AI? What if it's a sign of a much larger shift, a fundamental change in the global innovation landscape?
That's a fascinating question. Could it be that we're moving beyond the era where Silicon Valley and a handful of established tech hubs dominate innovation?
What if we're entering a new era of truly globalized innovation, where groundbreaking ideas and technologies can emerge from anywhere in the world?
That would have profound implications for how we invest, how we think about technological development, and how we envision the future of the global economy.
It's a thought-provoking concept, and it's something we'll be keeping a close eye on as we continue to explore the frontiers of technology.
It's definitely a trend worth watching. The future is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to be active participants in that process.
Couldn't agree more. So to all our listeners out there, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The world of technology needs your voices and your perspectives.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of AI and crypto. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking.
And don't forget to subscribe and listen on Spotify for more deep dives into the cutting edge of technology and what it means for you. Until next time, keep exploring.